The stars were quiet. To quiet in a forgotten corner of the galaxy, a cold asteroid floated in deep space. It looked dead. No light, no heat, no sound. But deep inside, something was moving. Machines were waking up. Lights turned on. Humans stood in silence, watching old screens come alive. A signal had been received. They all stared. No one spoke. For 300 years there had been nothing. No voice, no word, no hope. The galaxy had erased them, but now, something had changed, Captain. Reyna stood tall in the command center. Her face was hard, marked by scars and years of training. She had never seen Earth. None of them had. Earth was just a story now. A lost home. A broken dream. But in their hearts, it still burned like fire. "Play it again," she said. The screen flashed. The signal was simple. Just a pulse. But it came from a place no signal had come from, in centuries Earth A. Silent breath passed through the room. Some stepped back in fear. Others leaned forward in hope. But no one looked away. "Earth is speaking," said an old man in the back. He was one of the elders, a man who had seen the first generation born in this hidden place, Vault 7. Reyna nodded. "It's time." She pressed a button. Across the base, alarms began to ring softly. Not the sound of danger, but the sound of awakening. Engines warmed. Lights turned green. Weapons powered on. Humanity had hidden long enough. 3 centuries ago, humans ruled many star systems. Earth had grown powerful, smart, and proud. But not all the galaxy liked that. The Empire, led by the alien race, called the Drexery, feared what humans could become. So they lied. They said humans broke the peace. They said Earth had created a deadly virus. They claimed humanity was dangerous, and the Council believed it. And one day, the Empire turned against Earth. Allied fleets attacked human worlds. Space stations burned. Colonies fell silent. And Earth was bombed into Ashdot, or so they thought. But the Empire forgot one thing: humanity. Vault 7 was built in secret before the fall. It was hidden deep inside a dead asteroid, surrounded by radiation clouds. Find it? No one knew it was there. Inside, thousands of humans had lived, trained, and waited. Generation after generation passed, telling stories of Earth, remembering the betrayal, preparing for a day that never came. Until now, Reyna walked through the long hallways of Vault 7. Soldiers stood ready. Engineers checked machines that had not moved in decades. Children looked at screens showing Earth's surface, now green and wild. "Do you think Earth is still dangerous?" one boy asked. Reyna stopped beside him. "No," she said. "Is waiting, just like us." Outside the asteroid, a single stealth ship moved from the hidden hangar. It was black as space, made to disappear. Its name was simple: Ghost One. Ghost One had one mission: reach Earth, land and find the truth. Reyna watched it vanish into the stars. "Find our home," she whispered, in a distant part of the galaxy. Inside the Empire's capital, a young alien technician noticed something strange. A tiny signal blinked on his console. It was old, very old. But it was from a forbidden place, Sector Sol. He reported it to his commander, but the commander laughed. "No one lives there. It's a dead zone." But the signal stayed, quiet, steady. Like a heartbeat, the technician frowned. "Then why does it feel, alive?" Ghost One flew fast. Faster than any ship had flown in years, past broken satellites, old debris, and burned ships. All left from the war. Then it saw it. Earth, blue, green, clouded, alive. Ghost One circled it slowly. Sensors scanned. Data flowed. The planet had changed. Cities were gone. Nature had taken over. But under the surface, something still moved. A signal. Deep under what was once Europe, an AI system had woken up. It scanned the human ship. It sent a message. Welcome home. Back in Vault 7, Reyna stood at the front of the main chamber. Screens showed Earth. The people stared in silence. We were erased, she said. Forgotten, lied about. But we survived, we learned. We grew, and now we return. The crowd stood. Some cheered. Some cried. One child asked, "Will the Empire try to stop us?" Reyna looked into the stars. "They will try," she said. "But this time we are not alone, and this time we remember everything." The signal pulsed again. It came from deep, under the surface of Earth. Not from a person, not from a ship, but from something older, something forgotten. Buried under rock time, silence. It was an AI. Its name was HFY, a Human Emergency Response Assistant, built 350 years ago. It was programmed to stay quiet until it detected a human presence in orbit. Then it would wake up. And now it had in. Vault 7. Captain Reyna watched the data stream coming from Ghost 1. The scout ship had entered low orbit around Earth. It sent back images: forests growing inside old cities, oceans rising over ruins, nature winning back the world. But the signal was not natural. Hera's voice came through. Human signal confirmed. Protocol 7, Alpha engaged. Uploading memory core. Reyna's screen turned blue. Data flooded in. Maps, names, orders, faces of traitors. Battle plans from the final days of Earth. Warnings of what the Empire had done. Reyna stared. This changes everything. At the edge of the galaxy, in the Empire's outer command base, alarms started ringing. Commander Vrosh, a tall Drexery alien with silver skin and 4 eyes, rushed to the console. "What is this?" he barked. A junior officer replied nervously. "Unauthorized signal from the Sol system, sir." Vrosh's face twisted.
"That world
"Is locked. No one goes there," the signal repeated. "We are coming." Inside Vault 7, tension grew. The people had seen Earth. They had heard Her's voice. Some were filled with hope. Others with fear. Reyna called a meeting with the Council of Elders. "The AI knows everything," she said. "It has data from the fall. It has records, names, tech, plans." One elder Graydon frowned. "Is it safe to trust an old machine?" Reyna looked him in the eye. "It was made to protect us. And it waited for us. For 3 centuries." Another elder leaned forward. "Then maybe this is the sign. Maybe the time has come." Reyna stood straight. "I want to go to Earth." Gasps filled the room. "It's too dangerous," one whispered. "The Empire may be watching," said another. Reyna didn't blink.
Why we don't want to why may what I will why we I why I got why quite why quite quite why I got why we why Wi-Fi we have what
Back in orbit, Ghost 1 moved closer to Earth. It descended slowly, entering the atmosphere. The AI guided it toward a broken spaceport near what was once called Europe. The ship touched down gently. "Silence, Captain Juno." The pilot of Ghost 1 stepped out in a black exosuit. Soil crunched under her boots. Wind blew through broken towers. Vines climbed old statues. Birds sang from rusted machines. Earth was breathing. Suddenly, her wrist console lit up. Unknown energy spike detected underground. She followed it. 1/2 kilometer from the landing site, she found it a thick steel door, half buried in dirt and vines. She wiped it clean. A symbol was carved into it. United Earth Defense CRI. She placed her hand on the panel. It hissed. The door opened. Meanwhile, the Empire reacted. Commander Vrosh stormed into the Imperial Senate chamber. High lords of many species sat on floating chairs, eyes glowing with power. "Humans are alive," he said. "The signal is real. We must act." One alien laughed. "Ghosts send no signals, Vrosh." Another said, "Even if they survived, they are nothing." Vrosh slammed a clawed hand on the table. "That nothing destroyed an entire outpost last cycle. No warning, no survivors." The chamber went silent. A shadowed figure at the head of the room spoke calmly. "Send a drone fleet. Quietly. Find the truth. And if humans rise again, erase them completely." Back on Earth, Captain Juno descended into the bunker. It was cold, dark, but still alive. Lights flickered on. The AI voice echoed through the walls. "Welcome, Captain Juno. You stand inside Defense Core 7. She walked past ancient walls filled with old tech, dusty armor, and weapons locked in vaults. The AI guided her to a central chamber. A glowing sphere hovered in the middle. "This is the memory core," Hera said. "It contains the truth of the fall and the path forward." Juno reached out and touched it. Visions filled her mind. The betrayal, the burning of colonies, the last stand of Earth's defenders. And then, the hidden escape of Vault 7. The orders left behind. Rebuild. Remember. Return. Tears rolled down her cheeks inside the helmet. "We're coming back," she whispered. She turned and began the upload. Vault 7 would receive everything, and the Empire would soon learn they had made a mistake. Far above Earth, the Empire's drone fleet arrived, silent, watching. One drone moved closer to the surface. It spotted Ghost 1. It zoomed in. Then suddenly its screen went black dot back in Empire command. Brosh stared in shock. "We lost the drone." Another screen went dark. Then another. Then the entire fleet. Dead silence. Brosh leaned forward, fear creeping into his voice. "They're not just alive. They're ready." A black ship stood in the ruins of Earth. Around it, wild forests grew where great cities once stood. Nature had taken over steel and stone. Birds flew through broken towers. Wolves walked through streets once filled with cars. The planet was silent, but not dead. Inside the ship, Captain Juno stood in full armor. Her mission was complete. The old AI had given her everything: records, mappings, plans, satellite codes, maps of old bunkers, and the names of those who had betrayed Earth to the Empire. The truth was no longer lost. Now she would bring it home. She looked out the window. "They thought we were gone, but we are still here, and we remember." She launched. Ghost 1 left Earth's surface, disappearing into the sky, leaving behind only footprints and stirred dust. But someone else had been watching, hidden high above. Inside the clouds, a small black sphere hovered, stealth drone from the Empire's fleet. It had seen everything, but before it could send its data. Bang! A pulse of light tore through the sky. The drone exploded into sparks. A second ship, painted in shadows, flew by fast. Its name, Wraith 9, piloted by Commander Darrow, one of the last soldiers of Sol, back in Vault 7. Deep inside the asteroid belt, alarms rang softly. Ghost 1 had returned. Captain Reyna waited in the landing bay. As the ship opened, Captain Juno stepped out. Her armor was scratched, her voice steady. "I found Earth," she said, "and it's waiting for us." She handed Reyna a glowing data crystal. "This has everything." Reyna took it, held it up. "To the light? Then the time is closer than we thought." The next day, the council gathered. The memory core from Earth was connected to Vault 7's main systems. The people watched as old footage played on massive screens. The betrayal, the Empire's attack, Earth's final broadcast. Then came something new, a message from the AI Hera. It was recorded 300 years ago, to the survivors of humanity. "If you find this, then you are the last hope. Earth is lost, but the fire must not go out. Remember what was taken, and one day return, not in hate but in strength. Let the stars know. We are not broken. We are waiting. The screen went black. For a moment no one spoke. Then an old engineer stood up. His voice shook. I was born in this rock. I've never seen the sun. But today I want to see Earth with my own eyes. One by one, others stood. Soldiers, scientists, children. Reyna looked around. This is the moment. She said, we begin. In the days that followed, Vault 7 came alive. Old machines were turned back on. Blueprints from Earth were used to build weapons and armor. New ships were built fast, silent, and deadly. The humans worked with quiet focus. But the day trained harder, ate less, slept less. Their minds were fixed on one goal: reclaim what was stolen. And deep under Vault 7, a special chamber opened. Inside it was a relic from Earth's past, a battlesuit, black steel, marked with the sigil of Soul. Armor had not been touched in centuries. Reyna walked into the room. The AI inside the armor spoke. Commander recognized. Suit status, 98%. Ready for war. Reyna placed her hand on the chest plate. I am the child of exile, she said, and the stars will remember us. Far away, the Empire still didn't believe. Reports of destroyed. Drones and missing scouts were blamed on system errors. Only Commander Vrosh knew the truth. They're alive, he told the Senate, and they are building something. We need to act now. The High Lords laughed again. Even if they return, we are still the Empire. Vrosh's hand shook. That's what we said the last time. They ignored him, so Vrosh made a secret. Call Dot to a hidden assassin group known only as the Cold Circle. Find the humans, he said, and end them before the galaxy hears their voice. But it was too late. The humans made their first move. A small Empire listening post on the edge of the Ander. System went silent. No distress call, no escape pods. Just gone, a day later. A message was found carved into the station's wall. This is not revenge. This is memory. The Empire panicked. If humans were truly back, everything would change in Vault 7. The first battle fleet stood ready. 10 ships. 500 soldiers. They wore dark armor marked with silver lines each line for a fallen world. They didn't cheer. They didn't shout. They moved with quiet. Purpose. They called themselves the last soldiers of Soul. Their mission? Take back the old relay stations. Open the ancient gates. It'd make a path to Earth. Reyna watched from the command tower. This is just the beginning, she whispered. Let the stars shake. The fleet launched. Black ships vanished into the void, and in that moment, the galaxy began to change. The Empire was confused. At first, it had been a whisper. A lost drone, a destroyed outpost, a signal from a dead world. Now it was war. Moon of Telrix 4. A secret Empire base blinked out of existence. No warnings, no alarms, no survivors. Smelted steel in silence. Inside the ruins, a message burned on the ground. Earth remembers. Commander Vrosh stood in front of the Imperial Senate once more. His voice was sharp now, angry. There, here and there, hunting. The Senate chamber, shaped like a giant circle, buzzed with voices. Alien leaders from 10 species spoke over each other. They cannot do this. This is not possible. Humans are extinct. Vrosh slammed. A clawed hand down. You erased them from your books, not from history. The High Lord, a massive green-skinned ruler named Zelvarn, stared down at Vrosh. Even if they live, they are few. We are many. Vrosh leaned forward, his eyes dark. Then explain this. 6 bases gone. No calls, no defense, no ships. Scene, a silence followed, and for the first time in 300 years, the Empire felt fear. Far across space, inside the hidden base Vault 7, Captain Reyna stood before her crew. A large screen showed 10 Empire targets, communication hubs, relay stations, weapon depots, all chosen with care. These are not random attacks, she said. They are symbols of the Empire's control. We are going to take them back. Her voice was calm but sharp. For every world they burned, we will strike. For every lie they told, we will show the truth. The soldiers listened in silence. They were not hungry for blood. They were hungry for justice, and justice needed action. The fleet moved quickly, using ancient wormhole tunnels only Earth had known. They passed through old space lanes lost to time. The first target, Relay Outpost 19. Quiet station used to spy on outer colonies. The Empire crew inside was lazy, bored. They hadn't seen combat in years. Many believed the stories about humans were just myths then, without warning. Their screens turned to static. Red lights flashed. A cold voice came through the speakers. Your crimes were not forgotten. Moments later, the station exploded in a single burst of light. No escape. No mercy. But humans were not just destroying. They were watching, listening, learning, using captured equipment. They hacked into the Empire's networks. Slowly, quietly, they began to rewrite the story. One by one. Small alien colonies, far from the Empire's center, began to hear strange. Broadcasts, old videos from Earth, footage of the betrayal, images of human cities falling, even while they begged for peace. Then came the words, "We were blamed. We were burned, but we were not wrong." Alien people began asking questions. Had the Empire lied? Had they killed an entire species based on fear? And if humans were still alive, what else had the Empire hidden? On a mining planet named Drothkel, the questions became action. The miners were poor, tired, and angry. One night, strange lights appeared in the sky. A small ship landed in the dust. 3 humans stepped out. They carried no weapons, only food, medicine, and a message. The Empire fears us not because we destroy, but because we remember. The miners listened. They had never seen humans before, but they saw the fire in their eyes, the calm strength, the quiet pain. When the Empire came to arrest the miners the next day, the humans were gone, but the rebels had already begun. Inside Vault 7, Captain Reyna stood in a chamber filled with old Earth technology. Engineers worked day and night too. Rebuild machines the Empire thought lost forever. One of them approached her. "Commander, we have finished it." She turned. On a platform stood a battle AI unit, sleek and glowing blue. It was old Earth tech, mixed with upgrades stolen from Empire ships. Its name, Orion. It spoke in a calm voice. "Hello, Captain Reyna. I remember you. I remember Earth. Shall we begin?" She smiled for the first time in weeks. "Yes, Orion. The stars are watching.
Ow.
Let's show them who we are."
Ow.
Meanwhile, the cold circle moved. The Empire's secret killers, shadows with names erased, had been sent to find Vault 7, and they were close. One of their scouts had traced. The last energy burst to the asteroid belt. Inside their ship, made plans. "No survivors," one said. "No mercy," whispered another. But they didn't know. They were walking into the jaws of the fire. A week later, on the edge of neutral space, an Empire trade station received a strange visitor. A single black ship peered out of nowhere. It did not speak. It hovered above the station and dropped. Package, then it vanished. Inside the package was a data crystal. The message it carried. A list of the Empire's crimes, signed with one line, "This time we speak first." The galaxy was starting to burn, but this time it wasn't from warships. It was from truth, across 100 alien worlds. People whispered the same question. What if the humans were never the monsters? The Empire had told one story for centuries, that humanity had gone mad, broken the peace, and tried to destroy the galaxy. But now old Earth recordings were appearing everywhere. Videos of Earth's final days, images of the betrayal, the cries for help. The silence that followed. The Empire had silenced Earth with fire, but fire remembers, and now it was rising again, in a small classroom on the planet Elran 6. A young alien boy raised his hand. "Teacher," he asked, Did humans really start? The war? The teacher paused. She looked around the room. Every child stared at her, waiting. She swallowed hard. That is what we were taught. The boy looked down at his datapad, where an old Earth broadcast played in secret. Humans trying to surrender. Humans saving alien children. Humans dying while still reaching out for peace. He looked up again. I don't think they were the bad ones. Inside Vault 7, deep in the asteroid belt, Captain Reyna met with her top commanders. The galaxy was waking up. Small groups of rebels had begun to rise across Empire space. Alien miners, farmers, engineers, even soldiers some were. Refusing orders, sharing messages from Earth, hiding humans who had made contact, but it was not enough. We need a voice, Reyna said. A message strong enough to shake the stars. Commander Duro stepped forward. A broadcast. Reyna nodded. No more whispers. No more shadows. It's time the galaxy hears from us directly. They chose an old Empire Communications Station 1. That reached hundreds of systems. The humans struck fast. A single black ship entered orbit, disabled the defenses, and landed in silence. Inside, a small team uploaded the message into the system. Then, just as quickly, they vanished. Across the galaxy, millions of screens flickered. Lights dimmed. Voices fell silent. Then, the message began. Broadcast. Origin unknown language. Translated to all known dialects, a human stood in the center of the screen. Captain Reyna. She wore black armor. Her face was calm, her eyes full of steel. Am Captain Reyna of Sol? She said. You were told we were gone. You were told we were evil. You were told Earth burned because we were dangerous. She paused. That was a lie. Behind her, old Earth footage played bombings, betrayals. Faces of human children crying as ships left orbit. We begged for peace. We asked for help, but no one came. She stepped closer. We were erased, forgotten, but we survived. And now we remember. The stars will remember too. The screen went black. Across the Empire, the effects were instant. Some cheered, some cried. Some screamed in fear. In a military barracks on Zarth Prime, a squad of alien soldiers turned off the screen in silence. One of them spoke softly. My grandmother told me. She once had a human friend. Another nodded. My people fought. Beside them long ago, third said nothing but took off his Empire badge and left it on the floor. On the throne world of the Empire, the High Lords raged. This is treason. They are infecting the minds of the weak. Shut down the systems. Erase the message. But it was too late. It had already spread, copied, shared, saved, played, echoed every time the Empire tried to delete it. Another version appeared. Commander. Vrash sat in his dark office, alone. He watched the human message again. This was the third time. Not because he hated it, but because deep inside, he believed it. He had seen too much, hidden too much, killed too much. He opened a private channel to Vault 7, he said. There was silence. Then a voice replied, Who? Is this? Vrash spoke slowly. I am ready to talk. Back in Vault 7, the humans gathered. They had received strange offers from many places, smugglers, rebels, small colonies, even soldiers. Some were asking for weapons, some for protection, some simply wanted the truth. Reyna stood before a new map. Red dots showed Empire control. Yellow dots showed rising resistance. Blue dots, newly added, showed unknown status. Change, movement. Possibility, Orion, the AI spoke. The fire is spreading, but fire must be guided, or it will consume everything. Reyna nodded. Then we guided carefully. She turned to her crew. Send the call. Every rebel cell. Every hidden ally. Give them a choice. The choice was clear. Stand with the Empire. Or stand with Earth. There was no middle ground now. No silence left. On the distant jungle moon of Korthus, an Empire base received the call. The commander there, four-armed alien named Sarin, read the message. He looked at his soldiers. Then, at the burning Empire flag outside, and finally, he opened the gates. The first open rebellion had begun, and humanity was leading it. Not with fear, not with force, but with memory. The old fire of Earth had returned, and now the stars burned with it. The palace burned. Flames climbed the marble walls of the Empire's capital world, Xernox Prime. Smoke rose into the sky, blackening the golden towers. The Imperial throne, once a symbol of unshakable power, was empty. Guards ran through the streets. Civilians screamed. Sirens howled. And above them, for the first time in history, human warships floated like shadows over their sky. 3 days earlier, the galaxy had changed. After Earth's full message was broadcast, rebellion had spread like wildfire. On 25 planets, Empire statues were torn down. On 12 moons, soldiers threw down their weapons. In dark alleys, underground bunkers, and ancient temples, people whispered a new name with awe and fear. Humanity, the ones who were erased, the ones who remembered, the ones who had returned inside. Vault 7, Captain Reyna, stood in front of the strategic board. The time for quiet strikes was over. "We've lit the fire," she said. "Now we must bring the storm." Round her stood the last soldiers of Sol, now joined by alien defectors, rebel leaders, and rogue AIs. The council chamber had grown. One of the alien generals, a tall, feathered warrior named Chthon, stepped forward. "My world stands with Earth," he said. "The Empire betrayed us too." Another voice, sharp and digital, added, "This galaxy was ruled by silence. Let it now echo with truth." It was Orion, the battle AI. Reyna nodded. "Ben, it's time. Operation Ashfall, the final plan to strike at the Empire's core." It began with a massive, neat blackout. Empire communications failed across 3 sectors. Supply lines vanished. Command signals were blocked. Their fleets went blind. Then the humans moved. Hundreds of rebel ships jumped into strategic systems, backed by stealth-class Earth cruisers. They didn't come to conquer. They came to collapse the old structure. Orbital docks were blown apart. Slave markets were destroyed. Secret prisons were exposed. Each time the Empire tried to strike back, their systems failed. Human hackers had learned how to turn the Empire's tech against them. And at the heart of it all was something even more terrifying. In a deep underground hangar of Vault 7, a door opened. Cold mist poured out. Inside was a single machine, massive, silent, sleeping. Its name was Nemesis, the final weapon designed on Earth before the fall. Part AI, part human neural memory. A walking war engine, never finished, never tested, never used, until now, Captain Reyna stood before it. "Awaken," she said. Lights flickered. The floor shook. A voice deep and old filled the chamber. "Nemesis online. Memory restored. Waiting." "Purpose," Reyna breathed in. "Purpose. Justice." Back on Xernox Prime, the Empire panicked. The High Lords held a secret meeting in the deep throne bunker. "They're in our space." One hissed. "They're in our systems," growled another. A third slammed his hand on the table. "They're in our streets!" The leader, Lord Zelvarn, looked into the hologram of Earth's flag now, displayed across rebel-controlled systems. "This is what we feared," he said. "This is what we created." Then came the last warning. One human ship entered orbit. Above Zern, Ax-Prime. Alone. It opened a wideband transmission to the entire planet, Captain. Reyna's voice filled the air. "You took our home. You burned our skies, murdered our people, and erased our name." She paused. "We do not come for revenge. We come to end the lie." Then another voice joined, a deep machine voice. "I am Nemesis. I was born in fire. I was trained in silence. And I remember everything." 10 seconds later, Nemesis dropped from orbit. The capital shook as Nemesis landed. It walked through steel, through fire, through entire squads of guards. Bullets bounced off its armor. Lasers did nothing. Nemesis did not run. It walked slow, steady, unstoppable toward the Imperial Palace. Behind it, rebel forces landed. human soldiers, alien fighters, AI units. Together, they stormed the city. One by one, Empire defenses fell. The final battle had begun. Inside the palace, Lord Zelvarn tried to escape. His ship sat ready. Guards waited. But as he stepped onto the platform, Nemesis appeared at the other end. The guards. Nemesis didn't stop. He reached the last emperor of the Empire and stared at him. "You built an empire on silence?" Nemesis said, "Now hear us speak." The last thing Lord Zelvarn saw was the fire of Earth. Hours later, smoke cleared. The throne room was empty. Reyna walked through its broken doors. Her armor burned, her voice quiet. She reached the throne, sat down, then stood up again. "This throne means nothing," she said. She turned to her people, human and alien. "Our power is not this chair. It is memory, unity, truth." She looked into the stars, and now we rebuild. Gone. The throne had burned, and from its ashes, something new was rising. Not a kingdom, not a conquest, but a promise. Never again. The stars were quiet again, but this time it wasn't because of fear. It was peace. The Empire had fallen. Its ships were gone. Its flags burned. Its throne shattered. But something far greater had risen in its place. A voice, a memory, a people once erased, had returned in the center of the galaxy. A new gathering was held, not of rulers, not of tyrants, but of survivors, humans, aliens, machines. Together they stood inside a massive circular chamber once used by the Empire's High Lords. Now, it had a new name, the Circle of Free Worlds. Captain Reyna stood at the center, wearing plain armor, no crown and no gold. Just the marks of battle and the calm strength of someone who had walked through fire. She looked around at the faces, watching her. Many had once feared humans, many had once believed the lies, but now they waited for her words. She spoke softly. "We were cast out, lied about, left to die." She paused. "But we did not die. We learned. We prepared. We waited." The chamber was still. Reyna continued. "We could have returned with hate, but we came with truth. We could have destroyed. We chose to remember." She raised a small object, an old Earth flag, faded but still whole. "This is not the flag of conquerors. It is the flag of survivors, of people who stood back up, of people who refused to vanish." She placed the flag gently in the center of the floor. "We are not here to rule," she said. "We are here to build." And the chamber erupted in silent nods, raised hands, and eyes full of tears, far away. On a small hill above Earth's green fields, Nemesis stood alone. The great war machine no longer carried weapons. Its armor was scratched, burned, faded, but its eyes still glowed with quiet purpose. Beside it, a child stood. A young girl, maybe 8 years old. She looked up. "Were you built to destroy?" she asked. Nemesis looked at her. "I was built to protect, then forgotten, then remembered." She nodded. "Will you fight again?" Nemesis paused. "Only if the stars forget again." The girl held out a flower. Nemesis looked at it, then took it in his metal hand. "It is strange," he said. "I have walked through war, but this feels heavier." The girl smiled. "That's because peace is harder." Back in Vault 7, much had changed. No longer a secret, no longer a tomb. It had become a museum, command center, and a training ground. New generations were coming. Humans who had never tasted war, aliens who had never seen Earth. Together, they trained. Not just to fight, but to protect. Not to destroy, but to guide. In one hallway, a sign hung. We were the fire. Now we are the light. In space, the last human fleet floated silently. It would not strike again. Its job was done. Now, it served only as a symbol, not of fear, but of warning, to any who might try to erase a people again, to any who might believe lies can hold forever, to anyone who forgets what Earth had already learned. One final broadcast was sent across every world. Every colony, every station, every corner of the galaxy. The screen turned black then, Rena's voice. You said we were gone? The screen flickered. Images of old Earth, burning skies, children running through ash. You erased our name. Then, Vault 7. Soldiers training, rebuilding, working side by side with aliens. You tried to silence us. Then Nemesis, standing beside the girl, holding the flower. But we were never gone. Final image, Earth, restored, green. Alive, the message faded. One line remained on the screen, we remember. Some say the stars themselves grew brighter after that. Some say they carry the voice of Earth, now echoing through the void. Others say peace never lasts forever. But if danger ever returns, if lies ever rise again, if power ever dares to erase truth, then the stars will shake once more, and humanity will rise again, because they were never gone.